What's going on? How are we doing? We've actually got some people in the training room, mostly the leadership team. And they are all the required 6 feet apart. So we are all set there. If I could ask some of the folks that are chiming here via training, if you can, turn on the cameras, I'd love to see you, say hello. Unless you're at home in your underwear, then feel free to leave the camera off. Bev, I'm sorry, when I do stuff like that, it stresses Bev out. So let's get the conversation going. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, Michael. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, Chris is actually in the market center, but he's back in his office. Smart move, Chris. Did you mention you're negotiating a contract right now?
Yeah, I'm about to write an offer up.
Awesome. Awesome. Writing an offer. So again, what's going on with Corona doesn't shut down business. And Manuel, you look beautiful. Don't worry about fixing your hair. You look wonderful just the way you are. Great to see you too.
Good to see you.
So, today is going to, hey, honey, how are you? So today's going to kind of be more of a mastermind conversation. We're doing this in the training room because my hope is that we'll take some notes on here and you'll be able to see them. And we'll zoom in if we end up having a problem with that. But, Gary Keller said yesterday that get brutal with expenses right now. And just a quick shout out to James Shaw, who's doing an amazing job, is teaching shift right now. He's teaching it every day at 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. So be sure you're plugging into those things. Please be sure you're plugging into KW Connect. Jason Abrams, Jay Papazan, and others are organizing training. There are a bunch of mini 20, 25-minute workshops every day from 9 to 4. So we've got a ton of education coming out of KWRI, which is absolutely amazing. I have not heard of a single competitor doing anything like this in the real estate industry right now. So I think we're definitely leading the charge in taking our training virtual to make it available. Hey, Gordon Crawford, you jumping on this training or what? We'd love to have your knowledge here. So I think we're doing a great job of bringing training that's timely, that's informative, that's helpful. So today's we're talking about money. And I do want to share some thoughts from the shift book that James shared earlier on his call. And again, this is page 34 if you have the shift book. When the shift hits initially, everyone gets hit equally. So right now, everyone is going through the exact same process of what's going on in the market, what's going on to the business. The market doesn't discriminate, so all boats float lower. What happens first is equal and without choice. What happens next is unequal and determined by choice. So Gary said a great thing the other day. He said the first dollar you save is the first dollar you earn. So, right now you got to get aggressive. You got to make cuts. There are no cuts that are too big or too small. I know myself, Aaron, Sean, Bev, and the other MCAs and other market centers, we're looking at all market center expenses. We're getting ready to start talking to landlords about doing some short-term renegotiation of lease costs to be able to make some changes there. So, we're trying to figure out what are those things that may be a little fatty that we don't need at the moment that we could do without for a period of time. So one of the things that Jason Abrams mentioned earlier is kind of itemizing first and foremost the three types of expenses to look at. A, B, and C. A is absolutely mandatory. These are expenses that are mandatory. They're fixed. You can do nothing about them. What would fall into that category? Yeah, your mortgage, your rent, right? Your car payment are things you can't do anything about. Your real estate licensing fees, your GSMLS, you can't operate without those things. So there's some things that are just there. You have to do those things. Then there's the expenses you'd like to keep, the things you enjoy having. What would be an example of that? And now you have a big smile on your face. It looks like you're thinking about something when I said that. Netflix, Hulu, wine, the liquor store. We have no one in here from Pennsylvania. The liquor stores in Pennsylvania are closed. So expect a lot of Pennsylvanians to be coming over the border into New Jersey. This is payback. This is payback from Sandy, where New Jerseyans went into Pennsylvania to get gas. And Rick Masters remembers what that was all about. they're now coming into our world to get liquor. So expect the stores in Flemington and the Strasbourg, not Strasbourg, Phillipsburg to be hurting. So the things you'd like to keep. And with those things, kind of put them in their own category. So again, I would be looking at this right now. A, B, C. So I'm going to encourage you to kind of create a graph like this. And I'll tell you, break it down, personal and business. Personal and business. Personal and business. So again, as we're going through this exercise, you're putting those things that you can't change. Your rent, your car, right? Again, same thing here in business, rent, equipment. There's some things that just you can't do anything about. Of course, you got salaries. So all these things that kind of exist there. Then you've got those things that you'd like to keep. Again, we just heard some of those. Netflix, cable TV, Hulu, internet. That's an interesting thing, internet. Is that really A or B? I think, that almost falls here because right now I would not want to be disconnected from the world. And as much as, I would love to eliminate that one, I kind of rely on that for a lot of local news right now with the press release. Some of that's available online, but having that on in my house is just helpful. But again, I'm still putting that in the B phase for right now. Yep, true. So with these Bs, these are things you'd like to keep, but you're not sure. You're going to revisit those this week. You're going to revisit those on Friday. And then what are the things you can cut? What are those hard moves that you could cut right now? Sean did not show up in here. Where's Sean? Is he on the screen? Are you talking, Amy, to me? Because I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything. Oh, okay, you're talking to the kids? But looking at the camera to make it look like you're engaged? All right. I totally get it. Hey, Amanda, how are you? So let's talk about some of the things you can cut. Number one, from the business standpoint, if agents are paying for a database, top producer, third-party database that's costing you money right now. I know everyone said they wanted to keep those until Command is perfect. You might want to just cut it now and jump right into Command with both feet. And look at all of those things that Command is. Where in your business can you cut expenses and replace them with Command, right? Well, what are some other things that are easy cuts to make right now? Personal business. I'll start with personal. I mentioned yesterday, I cut my landscaper for right now. We don't need to worry about that at the moment. We made some moves in both worlds yesterday with cutting credit cards. And Bev asked about that this morning. So that scares you a little, scares the people in the room a little bit. So again, with the credit cards, we poor Nana's like, please don't cancel that credit card yet. Yeah, not your billing credit card, not your billing credit card. But cut those credit cards so that way, so we reported the credit cards lost in essence. So that way we can see all the recurring payments and figure out what you can live without right now. What are those that you absolutely don't need? So cut some of those things out. Who's got an iPhone? Who's got an iPhone? Pull it out. Pull out your iPhone. Samsung. So everyone on the phone, pull out your iPhone. I'm going to settings. And I'm sure Samsung has something similar to it. I just don't know it because Samsung is ancient and backwards. So of everyone on the call, how many people have a Samsung phone? One. So I'm going into settings. I'm going into iTunes and Apple Store, iTunes and App Store. I'm clicking on my Apple ID. I'm viewing my Apple ID. I'm viewing my Apple ID. And at the bottom, you're going to scroll and click on subscriptions. So what are the subscriptions you signed up for on your phone that you may not even remember? Me and Amy were doing this about an hour ago. I think we cut $100 a month out today in just subscriptions we didn't realize we were using, we were being charged for. So I'm going into subscriptions. So the first thing I cut was Apple Music subscription. I love Apple Music. It's $15 a month. Pandora is free. You know, so do I really need Apple Music right now? What's up, Jim? How are you? Bye, Jim. Hi, Jim. There you are. I didn't realize I was paying $15 a month for HBO Now. I must have signed up for it at some point in the past, and they've been charging me, and I did not realize it. Um, Again, I canceled a meditation app, a hiking app I use. So there's a bunch of apps in here that you can cancel. Doesn't mean you can sign back up for these later. But if you can trim out $75, $80, $100 a month quickly, like that, just to make some changes right now, you can always reestablish these things in the future when things adjust. But right now, you want to find ways to cut things as aggressively as possible. So what are some other things, and let's talk about personal life for a second. What are some things in your personal life you can live without? Starbucks, yes, guys. Make coffee at home. Make coffee at home, make coffee at the office. You don't need a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts right now. Any degree of eating out, let's be honest, who really wants to eat food from a restaurant right now anyway? If there's ever been a time to get back into brown bag lunches, that is now. Amanda, I love it. Amanda just saved $15 a month. She had no idea she had 2 subscriptions. I'd be curious if anyone found some subscriptions and they just saved money. I'd love for you to post that in the chat. I canceled my monthly beauty product subscription boxes. Nice, Jill. I hope Amy doesn't hear that people are canceling their doTERRA pre-orders. I'm sure that would affect a lot of doTERRA people. Sorry, honey. Don't cancel your doTERRA health as well. I pull up the chat. I just saw another one that was great. A satellite radio. Jill did keep her doTERRA subscription. So again, some things, ladies, sorry, you probably don't need the pedicures and manicures at the moment. And let's be honest. Yeah, we've been informed that they're closed anyway. That was previously investigated. My daughter and Amy were looking at it over the weekend. They said the nail salons were packed. I can just imagine all those nail ladies with the masks on their faces. I don't want to go nowhere near that environment. So, you know, things like that. Maybe go a little bit longer without that next haircut. You know, probably going to cut dry cleaning out for a little while, you know, to deal with it ourselves somehow. So what are some of the other areas we can cut in our personal lives to save some money? Sorry, Ian. Yes, Ian Wolf. No pedicures or manicures, buddy. You and Chris Christie are going to have to take a break from that, unfortunately. What are some other things in our personal life we can do without? You can cut down the cable, right? Which works. Again, that could be a B or a C. Depends on who it is, but that might fall in both categories, right? Maybe you go in and you modify. Do I really need all those pay channels right now? I can modify my monthly cable and probably carve out $50 or $60 a month, because nowadays I'm probably using Netflix and Hulu a lot more than I'm using HBO or Showtime. Yeah, the gym. You know, some gyms are trying to go do an at-home workout and trying to, you know, gather you together like that. But we just canceled our cleaning people. You know, now let me just talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that for a second. So you can't do that because you feel bad for the cleaning people, or that you don't want to clean your house? So maybe this doesn't work for everybody. My biggest concern with cutting it was less about the leverage and more about that's their livelihood as well. So we actually called our cleaning service yesterday and said, hey, listen, until further notice, we don't want you coming by. However, we're still going to pay you 50% of what we paid you. And we would just ask that when we get you back in, you do a little bit more. In essence, that's a credit against future services. So because, again, I feel bad completely cutting some things because these are people's lives and jobs. Maybe you call your cell phone company, see if they have a better plan at a lower cost. Yes, Amy, I understand the iTunes account. We're working on that. My credit card says every month, you're over budget in your iTunes subscriptions. Call your credit card companies. You know, years ago, back in 2008, during the last crash, we were actually really over leveraged with credit cards. I called all the credit cards and said, hey, listen, I can't afford this. They cut us all back to 7-8% interest rates. So most credit cards, especially with what's going on right now, they'd rather charge you a lower interest and still receive some income from you than have people starting to default on those things. Call your automobile company and see if there's a way to renegotiate your interest rate on your car loan. But those are 2 key areas to do it. You know, if you've got we were talking yesterday, if you have a 15-year mortgage, now might be a real good time to modify to a 30-year mortgage and drop that payment. You know, keep in mind, with a 30-year mortgage, you can always pay it like a 15-year mortgage later. So just because you have it one way gives you the flexibility, but you can still throw down more on that. What other things can we adjust in our personal lives? Shift to business for a second. Sean, you said you and Meg just cut a lot out of the sales business you operate over there. What are some areas you can go into your sales business, your real estate sales business, make some cuts? We already said database, right? What else? You did 50% cut in your expenses in your real estate business. So what are some things you cut? Some of those hard cuts? Ooh, I'm not going to talk about that. Do we have any coaches on this? Again, Sean said he cut some coaching. I know Gary will say that that's not an expense and that's an investment, but you cut some of the coaching that you were paying for your team, but you're still keeping yourself in coaching. You know, so again, there could be ways to redo that. I did hear that MAPS might be sharing some information in the near future on some things that they're going to do adjustments to give everyone relief during this time. As a market center, we're all also working on some ideas in order to help with that, which we should have some information out to you in the next day or two. James Shaw said your car leases, a lot of times they will cut off the interest rate and put it on at the end of the term as kind of like a balloon type payment at the end. So you know, I'm not gonna put coaching up here in case someone takes a picture of that and sends it to Gary. Yep. Yeah, I talked to someone earlier who's a big wine person. He's got a bunch of wine subscriptions. He canceled all of the wine subscriptions. You know, again, look at everything gets sent to you. Oh. So Amanda was saying, Amanda, do you have something to share?
Sorry, I clicked by.
Did you want to share something, or are you just typing? We'll mute
Sorry,
Amanda.
I clicked by accident.
Okay. Oh, good. So when you say luxury memberships, Bev, what are you referring to? Oh, like the luxury groups. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, all that stuff is changing anyway. They're working on it right now, both commercial and luxury. They're changing and taking it from an annual fee type of subscription program to an earned experiential program. So they haven't given us a date, but there's been lots of talks at the regional directors meetings that they're kind of doing away with all those membership fees anyway. So, but without a doubt, look at anything. I would tell you to go through, pull out your bank account, your last bank statement, your last 2 bank statements, your last 3 bank statements, and just sit down with your family and go through them and start highlighting the stuff you don't need. And educate your kids and your family that these things are happening. You know, my kids wanted to watch Jumanji 2 last night. We go to watch the movie, I pull it up, and it's only available for purchase right now. It's not available for rent yet. So again, a week ago, I would have thought twice about $20 on iTunes and buy the darn movie, but that $15 is a difference right now that I'm going to be aware of. So, you know, look at making those daily habits that we all have. Again, whether it's a movie, whether it's a game, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts, what are those daily habits? And you need to disrupt some of those daily habits as quick as possible, because that's where you end up costing some money. The good thing is we're all driving a lot less, so our cost of fuel is going to go down, right? So the next time you fill up your car, you may only put $20, $25 in it instead of spending $50 or $60 to fill it up. Again, a change in some of these daily habits. Randy M, be very careful cutting some of your subscriptions you have, because some of them are grandfathered at a lower cost, and when you subscribe later, it will cost you more. Great point, Randy. Great point. You know, so I'm always cognizant of changing my Verizon service, because I've got Verizon service from years and years ago. That's very, very good. But again, we'll also see some of these companies are going to be incentivizing you to stay. If you call the cable company or your cell phone service and say you're making big cuts, who here has ever had satellite radio in their car? XM, things like that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I never signed up for more than 6 months. They send me the bill. It's $180. I say no. They say it's $140. I say no. They say it's $95. I say no. And by the time it's done, it's typically about $45 to $49 for an introductory 6-month deal. It drives me nuts, because it takes literally 45 minutes every 6 months to deal with that headache. But $100 is $100. So, well, you know, where are some other areas we can pull back in business or personal? I'm going to put that over here. Gary Keller said yesterday he canceled his vacation. If Gary Keller, with the money he's got, is canceling his vacation, I'm going to take that pretty darn seriously. So we've already canceled our spring break, which is in 2 weeks. Most people did. Right now we're looking at our summer vacation. We'll most likely cancel that because of the fact that even if this is all done by July, the economic impact is going to be with us for quite a bit of time to come. So again, I see a lot of more northeast road trips than anything much farther outside of that. What are some other areas you can trim in either your personal or your business life? Yeah, what are some of the websites you're paying for? Your lead generation tools. I would look at every business expense you have. What's that? CRMs, yeah. I would look at every business expense you have right now and hold it accountable. Like today, we're talking about Scott Leroy, Michael Lewis marketing. This money we have going out, and someone had said, "Oh, agents will be upset if we cancel Michael Lewis." Well, okay, how many agents have used it in the last 30, 60, 90 days? What did they use it for? Is that product replaceable somewhere else? So those are some of the questions we're asking ourselves to figure out where we can carve out, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. What I've realized, by cutting $100 or $150 here and there adds up to thousands of dollars later. So, again, go through your last 30, 60 days of your bank statements, highlight everything that's questionable, circle X out, and start canceling some of these things. Canva. I'm thinking, is Canva a replacement for Michael Lewis marketing, Amanda, or is that something you can cancel? Lots of great places to do close to home for a day trip vacation. So, again, you get my point. There's lots of different areas you can trim. Yeah, Lou, definitely look at refining your mortgage. Again, even just to a lower interest rate. Or again, if you've had your mortgage for a number of years, what you would refi as far as balance right now would also lower your payment significantly. Any other areas of home that would fall into this area or this area, home or business? Yep. So change some of those automatic water bottle orders and things like that you may not necessarily need. Again, go and look at your Amazon account. Look at your Amazon account and look at everything you've ordered in the last 30, 60 days. Yeah. Don't give up everything but Prime. In this day and age where we don't want to go to the store, Prime is more important than ever. Everyone's struggling, but the cost of Prime is going up. But again, go and look at your Amazon account for the next 30, 60 days and ask yourself, would I order this today? Based on where the economy is, based on where business is right now, if I could go back, would I have ordered this? It's interesting. We decided to redo my daughter's closet. Kicked myself in the butt that we pulled the trigger and ordered the materials because I probably could have waited a few months to do that. But again, if I knew that last week, what I know now, I probably would have made a different decision then. So ask yourself that. Turn the lights off. Pay more attention to lights, more attention to water. All those little things around your house, those costs all add up quite a bit. Any other areas? They transfer credit card debt to New Bank for 0% interest. Great idea, Lou. Yes, get rid of Canva and Michael Lewis. You can use designs and command. Without doubt, recurring Amazon subscriptions. Look at your car insurance policy. I'm actually going to tell you, go back and reprice your home and auto. You have Keller Covered. Take a look at Keller Covered. Gary just launched that. It's an insurance company that we operate. And I'm hearing people are saving themselves a lot of money on home and auto. So that could be a way to also trim back your monthly expenses. We did save a little by doing ourselves, though. I'm not sure if that connects to another comment earlier or not. The closet. Oh, okay, yes, you're right. We didn't hire someone to do the closet. We're doing it ourselves. So my wife's explaining that we still save money. That's the way we fool ourselves and make ourselves feel better about it. Hey, let's talk about things like wine. If you normally drink wine, you normally buy a $15 bottle, buy a $10 bottle, or cut it out completely. All those things. As Bev's pointing, Sean's like, that's what I did. Of course, when you got kids home for the entire 24 hours a day right now, it might not be the best time for those that do drink to cancel that. $3 Chuck. That stuff never goes bad. So any other thoughts or ideas on areas you can trim? Again, did this bring some awareness and some thoughts to this challenge? I'm going to tell you, get real, get right, cut fast, cut now. because you don't have a whole lot of time. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. So Gary says, don't wait 2 months, don't wait a month. Make that change right now. It was interesting for those of you that know we did the Roxbury location. Where we just signed that lease, we just started building it out, and I got a call from the landlord's agent today and said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? What are my options?" He goes, "Honestly, you don't have a personal guarantee. I wouldn't be surprised if you just got up and walked away from it right now." I'm like, and I said, "You know what? That's just not the way I operate. That's not the way I do business. I made a commitment to you. I made a commitment to quite a few people." I said, "So no, I'm going to finish it. It's going to be a little bit more bare bone basic. It might not be fully furnished out of the gate. The sign might not be up right away." They called me. But where that went to an interesting conversation was, "Hey, listen, we got a couple of months free rent now as part of the lease." I said, "Depending on how far this goes and how far it drops, I'd be open to talking about more free rent that you can then tack on to my rent over the next 7 years." Now, I looked at it here, and you guys all know we spend about $35,000 to $40,000 a month for the Morristown location. So I'm going to be approaching them. 3-4 months. If they can give us 3-4 months for free, all I would have to do for 4 months rent, which is $100,000 plus, it would be $1,500 more a month over the rest of the lease. So the landlord makes 100% of their money. We get a savings during a difficult economic time. So those are kind of the ways we're thinking, the conversations we're having. I'm sharing that business conversation with you to let you know what we're doing to make sure we can still support you, support this and keep us profitable and profit sharing. But I'm sharing those with you because these are all ideas you can also take in your personal life as well. Depending on how things get, call your mortgage company. Say, "Hey, can you forgive 2 or 3 payments and adjust my mortgage up a little bit?" I'll let you know how these landlord conversations go. But it could be a way that everyone helps each other during this economic shift. Any other thoughts? Any other things else that we've talked about that we want to share that we haven't shared yet? Anything else, Sean, you did in your sales business side of life?
Cut down mojo.
Yep.
Cut down to $1 to
Take the mojo from $2 to 1, right?
$2. Yeah.
We just kind of analyzed every single expense and put it into those categories, like you said.
Yep.
What can we not operate without? What can we cut back on? And what can we completely
Yeah. Again, A, B, C. What do we so I'm going to challenge you guys to all go back home tonight, in your personal lives, and on the call for your business, and say, what can I not live without? What must I have? And are these things negotiable? All those things negotiable. And then what are the things that I'd like to keep? I'm not ready to give up yet, and give yourselves, 3 or 4 days to see where this goes and come back to that. And then look at all the things we said we can cut right the freak now. For everyone that's on the call or in the room, what I'd love to do, I'd love for you to go back and look at your personal and your business. And I'm going to do it as well. I'm going to share my results with you guys. Go and look at that this week. Then by the end of the week, I'd love you to have you send in to us, to myself, to Emily, how much money you saved in your personal life monthly, how much money you saved in your business life. I'd love to look at the end of the week and say, wow, cumulatively, we've saved $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Imagine if we could take advantage of this opportunity and look at our life like that, and then what that could look like for all of us. And then what does that look like for our realtors on the line? You do this process, we do this experiment, then you go and you start calling your databases. Hey, I know we bought a house a couple years ago. This is something we're doing. This is a workout I did. I'm able to cut back my expenses in life by X amount. We're encouraging all of our past customers, friends, and family to do the same thing. So this would actually be a very cool lesson for you to then take back and use as a touch for your database, right? Any other thoughts, comments, concerns, excitements you want to share? Quick update. The president yesterday mentioned that national shutdown is off the table. That was a hoax over the weekend of a hack in some government system. So a national shutdown is off the table. We are a technology world. However, he also said, plan on working in this level until probably more like July, as opposed to just 60 days. I'll be curious what happened to schools this year. So expect to be in this odd world a little bit longer than we might have expected a couple of days ago. I also like to think that he's given us a worst case scenario. Right now I'm kind of tracking, China, over there, Italy. When those countries start dropping is kind of when we'll see how long we'll be in this. And I do think we've, as a country, have reacted a lot more aggressively than other parts of the world did. So I was on a call this morning with 33 regional directors from 33 different countries across the world. And for Italy, Portugal, Spain, Korea, Vietnam. And it was amazing, some of the things that they're experiencing, a lot deeper and considerably darker than we're experiencing right now. So as tough as things are and as tough as things get, it would be a lot worse if we're in a different part of the world. So any other thoughts? One of the articles I read with Italy was they're actually triaging at this point. They're writing off people above a certain age. That way they can focus their medical treatments on the younger people that have a better survival rate. That was an article I read yesterday. So again, different parts of the world are reacting to different things. Ooh, tell me. I know, I didn't read it. You want to talk in the mic or you want to?
No. I just want to let you know that ordinarily the income tax payers said their 2018 tax returns by April 15th. They're now pushing the delay to July 15th.
Wow. Right there tells you. Thank you. Send it to Emily too, so she reminds me to read it. So again, so for those of you that didn't hear via the microphone, the IRS pushed back the tax date to July 15th. So I mean, it tells you how serious everyone's taking this. You know, Gary talked yesterday about we're going into a social economy phase here, where we need to take care of each other, help each other, support each other. So the fact that the government's moving that date is kind of a sign that they're willing to be part of this game.
In my lifetime, which is a lot, I've never seen it.
In Bev's 26 years of being alive, she's never seen this at all. So again, you know, the world is a different place than it was a week ago. I'm waiting to see what the government's doing as far as accelerating or increasing unemployment claims. There's going to be a lot of unemployment in the world over the next couple months. Restaurants are going to be going out of business by the boatload. You know, hotels, travel. And look at Disney. Disney stock dropped. Can you imagine Disney closed for 4 months with all those parks? I have a friend that works down there in the Disney parks. They got laid off this week. You know, I heard we still had to file but could pay later without penalty. We will send that article out. We'll post that article to the Rockstar pages. We'll post the IRS article to the Rockstar pages so you can take a look at it yourself. Which idea did you like, by the way? Is that Christine? I can't see the rest of the name. I'm curious what idea you liked. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Anything else to share? Was today useful for you? Beneficial? Thank you very much for being here. Again, take a look at our training calendar. Our goal is to teach 2 sessions a day. You know, 1 at 10 that's command technology focused, and 1 at 2 that's going to either be an agent interview, a tactic, a strategy. We looked at more, but we said we don't want to inundate you. KW's got great training. James Shaw's got great training. We don't want to train you to chaos right now. So we said we're just going to do 2 a day. If you have any suggestions or ideas, things you would like us to teach on, talk about, strategize, or mastermind, if you can email them to me, feel free to email kwrg27@kw.com. That's Emily's email address. And we'll kind of keep a list of requests. That way we can start building out a robust training calendar, which may be more than just the next 3 weeks, maybe the next 3 months, where we go to this types of training. And yes, Lou, the KW Connect is continuous all day from 9 to about 4. Dylan? Bill Chevalier will be teaching social media posting. Hey, for those of us that are Rainmakers on here or parts of teams, encourage the rest of your team to plug into these calls. Encourage the people you're co-broking to plug into these calls. If you're currently doing a deal with someone, give them the marketcenterzoom.com link and say, hey, we're doing training every day at 10 and 2. Could come take a look, spend some time with us, see if we can help you in your business. Because again, what I'm hearing from other agents, from other companies, their companies are not doing this at all. They're going with a stick the head in the sand approach. Go home and let's wait till this is all over. So a lot of good opportunities. Yep. So we've been trying to figure out the posting of this right now. Temporarily, we're posting this stuff to my YouTube channel. So take a look at the Facebook page. We will post these to the Rockstars Facebook pages with the link to the private pages on my YouTube channel. That way you can go and look at those again in the future. So again, we will be posting them there again temporarily, especially as we get into strategies and broker stuff and compliance. We don't want all of that available via YouTube, but we just thought that was the quickest and easiest way to get the information out there right now. Our video call from yesterday is there. So if you didn't tune into yesterday's call, we had about 130 people on that call. Make sure you plug into that ASAP. Any other final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. So long.